Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Welcome back. Achutanji, Hare Krishna. So happy to see you after so long. How's everything? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. So, it's been really long that we got in touch, and we should talk sometime. So we have been going through this journey of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I welcome all of you to be a part of this. There are so many beautiful things that we have been discussing in this series of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are starting a new canto. We have finished two cantos, all the chapters from Canto 1 and Canto 2. So today we are having the discussion on Canto 3, which will go on for a lot of weeks. I mean, upcoming weeks. So this is all very interesting because now we are getting to know a lot of new characters in the Bhagavatam. From now onwards, the discussion actually opens up, and the discussion is quite varied. So let's see. We have Hare Krishna Dev. How are you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Have a variety of things happening in terms of new characters being introduced in the Srimad Bhagavatam now, and you'll see this whole range of different types of devotees and their struggles and their journey actually gives us a lot of hope and also a clue as to how we should lead a spiritual life. So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of examples for us, a lot of role models for us. So that is very interesting, right? So we will discuss all of that. Hare Krishna, Vinodji, thank you for joining. I remembered you yesterday. We had, of course, here the weather was so nice last 2 days. It became a little sunny, and I was thinking, okay, let's go out. And I was walking. We have a very nice big lawn. So I thought of going there on the lawn in the sunlight, and I started walking. And I remember in Vrindavan you had mentioned about Prabhuji, you should walk on the lawn with barefoot. That will be really nice for you. So I thought of you, and I started really walking without my shoes and walking barefoot on the lawn. It was really a very good experience. But that sunlight did not last for long. After an hour or so, it became again gloomy, and it is so cold here now. So anyway, but it is nice. So I did experiment with that, and it was very nice walking barefoot on the grass. Hare Krishna Bhavesh, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let's begin with the prayers. All of you kindly join your palms and chant along with me the pranam mantras. It will be displayed on the screen. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato jayam mudiraye nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavat uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So, welcome back, all of you. Like I just mentioned previously, that this discussion, we are going to have a new chapter from the Canto 3. So, we are actually entering the third canto now. So, we are starting the third canto, and it is very, very important because now we are going to understand a lot of new varieties of characters about their life. And this makes Bhagavatam very interesting because so many characters, right? So all these different characters, when you get to know, it's very important, and you can also make a note of all these because that way you will have a little hang on what exactly is happening in the Bhagavatam, right? Because a series of new people coming in the Bhagavatam might sometimes confuse you. So it's better that we make a note. So now in the previous canto, Parikshit has asked some questions, and Shukdev Goswami is answering them. And then there is a conversation between Narada and Brahma, and Brahma also explained that how this creation has begun. I mean, the details of the creation are not given, but the overview of the creation, how Brahma created, he explains, right? The Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, different things, Mukti, all these 10 varieties of things that actually are the subject matter, the topics discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam are all discussed in the previous session. So Parikshit now has actually asked a little bit more about how Vidhura he met Maitreya. Now this is a new conversation. Now Parikshit has asked a question about Vidura here. Now Vidura is not an ordinary person. Vidura is a very, very powerful personality. He's a Mahajan, he's a Mahatma, and knowing his life is very important for all of us. We should know the life of Mahatmas. We should know the life of people like Vidura because Vidura is a great personality. He's a great devotee and very great politician also. Now, whatever we today hear about Chanakya Niti, right? We have heard about Chanakya Pandit and very great politician that ever India has seen, right? Chanakya Pandit was a great politician. Now, Chanakya Niti is derived from Vidura Niti. So there is Vidura Niti. Vidura Niti is a very powerful, I mean, there's a separate section of Viduraniti which comes in the Mahabharata where Vidura explains and shares his experiences, his way of leading life. So he's a great personality. Vidura is not an ordinary personality. So, and Vidura, he's a minister, he's a great personality, but he had to also face a lot of atrocities in Hastinapur. In his very own place, Hastinapur, Vidura had to face a lot of atrocities. So, not so easy life. But still, he became a great devotee and personality. But how all this happened, we will understand. So, there was a time when Dhritarashtra was in anxiety because he had seen now the war is looks like imminent and it's going to be unstoppable. His own son Duryodhana is full of envy and he has so many desires. And Pandavas, they have actually finished their Agnatavasa also successfully. Now, after the successful Agnatavasa of the Pandavas, Dhritarashtra is in tension because now these Pandavas are going to come back. And their coming back means what? There will be disturbance here in my own family. My sons will not keep quiet. Right? So Dhritarashtra, actually called Vidura for consultation. He needed some guidance now. So Dhritarashtra is called. But before even we understand what Dhritarashtra asked and what was the discussion between them and what Vidura actually told Dhritarashtra, we should know about Vidura a little bit. See, we all know in Mahabharata, Satyavati had two sons. Anyone, any guesses? Satyavati, who were the two sons? You remember? Satyavati is the wife of Shantanu, right?
Bharata.
You are not audible, Dave.
Bharata.
Yeah, so
Bharata.
no, you're still not audible. Maybe
Oh,
some.
okay.
One second, hold on. Yeah, now you speak. Yeah, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, Bharata.
Not none. They had two, Satyavati had two sons.
Prabhuji, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
You know who were the two sons of Satyavati? Satyavati is the
Ved
wife.
Vyasa. Acha,
Vedvyasa is the co.
Satyavati as in,
Yes.
and then Pandu and Dhritarashtra, no?
No.
No,
Then,
sorry, Prabhuji. Pandu is the grandson, no?
yes. So,
Prabhuji, they both died. So then his daughter-in-law, Ambalika, that one you're talking about, right?
right,
The two daughter-in-laws, yeah. Out of the three, the two,
right.
which Bhishma Pitama had kidnapped them and brought them, Ambalika and Ambika.
Yes. So, now
Kritva,
Satyavati.
ah,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
um, two names, two boys
Yeah, two
of
boys.
Shantanu, right? Shantanu is
Shantanu is the husband of Satyavati.
the husband, yeah, Bhishma's father. He marries Satyavati. That
Satyavati.
correct. Now I got
They,
it. The
Shantanu,
fish lady, yeah.
right, the Matsyagandha, right? Satyavati.
Matsya correct. Then she is Satyavati. Then she had Ved Vyasa before, and after that she has two sons. I forgot Prabhuji. Krita something. I don't know.
Vichitravirya and Chitrangada.
Vichitra Virya. Sorry, Vichitra Virya.
Vichitravirya and Chitrangada. Chitrangada, he fought with another Gandharva called Chitrangada. Both they thought, okay, you also have my name, I also have my name. Both names are same. Only one Chitrangada should be there. So both they fought, and in this battle, one Chitrangada he died, and this Vichitravirya who was a addict basically, and his own habits killed him. So Vichitravirya was, he died very early, and now since both of them died, there was no one to continue the lineage. And now it's a big problem. No, and our Bhishma has actually kidnapped Ambika, Ambalika. Amba, of course, we know the situation. She's already gone tapasya to kill Bhishma. Uh, so now Ambika and Ambalika are there now without children. So that was a big problem. So when Ambika and Ambalika have no children, there is no lineage. That is when now Satyavati, she thought Bhishma could not, because Bhishma has taken a vow that I'll be a brahmachari and I cannot really get, because it was very strong, Bhishma, right? So he said, I'm going to stay Naishtika brahmachari all my life. So there was no question of marriage. So what to do then? And that is when Satyavati invites her son Vedvyasa. Now, during that time, in the Vedic society, there was a paddhati, there was a system of niyoga. Niyoga means when in emergency cases, okay, in emergency cases, you can beget a child uh, through you have another son from so you can adopt, you can have a have a child, beget a child from your husband's brother. So Vedvyasa technically was a brother of Vichitravirya and Chandragada. So she calls Vedvyasa, and in that emergency case, which is not for pleasure, it is for a divine purpose. To beget a children is not an ordinary thing; it's a divine thing. So Vedvyasa came, but then what happened? because Ambika, she was in Tamoguna, she closed her eyes looking at the raw, ghastly appearance of Vedivyasa. I mean, it was not ghastly, but it's, Vedivyasa is like a long hair and he just came as it is, and she was like terrified. And she was in a mode of ignorance, so she closed her eyes. And that's how Dhritarashtra was born, and he was born blind. And then he comes again later on. What will we do with a blind child? He cannot rule the kingdom. So Ambalika was there. And then Vedvyasa again comes. And now Ambalika knew that, okay, I shouldn't be closing my eyes. So she did not close her eyes, but then she became very terrified again and she turned pale. And that's how Pandu was born. And they wanted another child, but then both of them said, no, 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 we don't want. But then they tricked Ambika, Ambalika. They tricked Ambalika, said, no, I don't want to get again one more child. Uh, so she tricked, and then she asked one of her dasis, one of her servants. So she was in Sattva. She was very composed. She knew what is right and what is wrong, you know. So she was actually given what is going to happen. She was informed about what is about to happen. And so that's why she was well informed and she was all okay. And Dasi was sent forward, and Vedvyasa comes and then begets Vidura through this Dasi, who was Sattvic in nature. So that's how Vidura also born, although out of a maid servant, who was actually Sattvic, he turns out to be a very sattvic personality. Tada garbham tadotayet. Vidura from the garbha itself could actually see what is right and what is wrong because his mother. See, that's why garbhadhana sanskar is so important. Having the right consciousness to beget a child is so important. So, of course, now Vidura, although born from a Vidasi, but he was a sattvic personality. This is something that we should know and make a note of it. Very important. So, now when Dhritarashtra, this is a little brief history of how Vidura was born. Of course, there is a curse to Yamaraja. He's actually an expansion of Yamaraja. Yamaraja was actually cursed to become a Dasiputra. So that's why he became a Dasiputra. Yamaraja came in the form of Dasiputra Vidura. Right? So now, Dhritarashtra has invited Vidura to his court. And of course, Duryodhana is there, all his other brothers are there, Shakuni is there, all these people are there. And you should know that Dhritarashtra has called Vidura for a consultation before Duryodhana to understand the strategies of what will Yudhishthira do. And then Vidura very clearly says that Yudhishthira is Ajata Shatru. He doesn't want any enemies in life. He's least bothered about fighting another thing. You just give them what they ask for and let them rule, and they are Kshatriyas. They should have something to rule. So give them something and finish it off. That's it. No war, nothing is required. Because Yudhishthira is a very simple person. He's Ajatusha. He doesn't want enemies. His nature is like that. So Vidura is telling Dhritarashtra, give them what they require because they're Kshatriyas. And also please remember that these Pandavas, they have Krishna on their side. It's better you return them their kingdom. If you don't return, then it's going to be a problem. Because Krishna is on their side and Krishna will never let his devotees get defeated. So now this is what Vidura was briefly telling. Now Duryodhana's duplicity was something else. He knew that Krishna is going to come as a peace messenger. And what not? Oh, Krishna is coming, and Duryodhana did everything best possible to capture Krishna. I mean, he was ready. I will invite him, I'll give him hospitality, and if he is listening to what I am saying, fine. But Duryodhana had plan B. If Krishna comes and he is not listening to what I want, then I will capture him. See, this was Duryodhana's mentality. Duryodhana always wanted to do something harm to Krishna also. And then finally Krishna comes for a peace proposal. And look at this. Krishna did not stay at the place of Duryodhana. He had elaborated nice feast and everything, but Krishna did not go to him. Krishna did not go to Bhishma. Krishna did not go to Dronacharya also because they had insulted Draupadi. When Draupadi was insulted, this Bhishma, this Drona, they were quiet. So Krishna was very clear, I will not go to these people's house. So instead, where did he go? He go to Vidura's place. Vidura is a pure devotee. And Krishna goes and stays in Vidura's place, in a Dasi's house. Can you imagine? That itself is a big insult for Duryodhana. How dare he? I'm a prince. And this Krishna, instead of coming to me, he goes to a house of a Dasi, this Vidura, who is a Dasa. That was an offense for Duryodhana. No, so now he thought, okay, let me see. And the discussion happened, and Krishna very clearly said, let's have peace, give them what they have required. But Duryodhana said, no, I will not give. I will not give land that is, as small as the tip of a needle. So then Krishna said, all right, you don't give, then war will happen. Then Duryodhana is like, war will happen only when you go back from here. I will capture you. Dhritarashtra is there, everybody is there, Bhishma is there. And Duryodhana is telling, I will capture you, Krishna. And Krishna started laughing. Oh, you want to capture me? Oh, do you think I'm alone? And like everybody is thinking, what? You're alone only, no? Duryodhana is thinking you came alone. Now you will not go because nobody is there with you. And suddenly there was a thundering sound in that court. Thundering. It was like deafening sound that came up. And with all that deafening sound, Krishna assumed or he showed that Vishva Virat Rupa to Duryodhana. He could see that Virat Rupa, powerful, very radiant. Nobody knew what's happening there. Only Bhishma, Drona, Sanjaya, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana. These 5 people, only they could see the Virat Rupa. Now Dhritarashtra was blind. How did he see? Yes, Krishna gave him that divine vision to see the form of Krishna's Virat Rupa. Look at this. How Dhritarashtra was also so fortunate to see the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa of Krishna. Dhritarashtra could see although he was blind because he was blessed with the divine vision. And of course, later Dhritarashtra says, my lord, after seeing you, the Krishna, your Virat Rupa, I don't want my eyes. I don't want to see anything in the world. Because after seeing you, it's better that I become blind again. I don't want my back. He says this. Because I have seen you, that is enough. That was the mood of Dhritarashtra after seeing Krishna's Virat Rupa. Right? And here, this Duryodhana, foolish fellow, he wants to capture Krishna. Look at this. But anyway, Dhritarashtra actually requested not to give him any boon. I don't want any boon because I don't want to see anything after seeing you, Krishna, because you are so wonderful, you are so powerful. And this divine vision that you gave me, that itself is a great blessing. So that's what Dhritarashtra says. The thing is, see, we all also want a divine vision in life. Everybody, each one of us, we need a divine vision. We need light so that we can have clear vision. Right now, there is a darkness of ignorance, which is slowly dissipating, of course, because of the discussion that we are having every moment to moment in terms of our Bhagavad Gita, our Bhagavatam. All these different things have gone now, and that darkness, that ignorance is, going off, and we are getting some clear vision. That's very important. So, Vidhura, he could see Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. And that's why he was telling Dhritarashtra that, and very confidently, on this day when he was actually called for consultation after this whole event, Vidura spoke very, very confidently, with full confidence, because he was asked for an advice. See, all these years, Vidura, although a minister in the court of Hastinapura, he was actually not consulted. Every time Shakuni was consulted. And Shakuni, you know how it was. He was always adharmic. And Dhritarashtra, instead of listening to the wise advice of Vidura, Vidura was neglected and Shakuni was always given priority. And here, without mincing any words, Vidura is telling to Dhritarashtra that your son Duryodhana is offense personified. He is just an envious person. Get rid of him. Throw him away. I told you when he was born, this very first son, when he was born, the jackals were crying, all the donkeys started braying. This person should have been neglected and abandoned the very first moment when he was born. But you kept him because of your putra moha, and now you see, look at this fellow. He is creating nuisance. He's not allowing anyone to live peacefully. That is Duryodhana kind of people. They don't allow you to be peaceful. There will be some people in your life, they just don't want you to be peaceful. Right? So Duryodhana is that kind of offense personified. And he's telling Dhritarashtra in front of Duryodhana that get rid of this fellow. So Duryodhana is like now instigated fully, completely. Many times, to appease someone, we don't say the truth. Vidura is not doing that. He doesn't want to appease anything. The politics that goes on today in India, appeasement politics, right? All the politicians do this appeasement to the SC, ST, this caste, that caste, this religion, that religion, appeasement politics because they want votes. And they tell whatever truth, false, everything. Politics is like that. And here, Vidura, without mincing any words, is speaking the truth. Now, we all know that truth should be, it should be always very pleasing. As Bhagavad Gita says that it should be pleasing, it should be beneficial also, right? It should be beneficial to people. Good speech means it should be beneficial and it should be pleasing. Here it is not pleasing, but then it is beneficial. And this has to be taken seriously. Now, so far Vidura's opinions were not taken seriously because Shakuni was there. And first time Dhritarashtra now is seriously consulting. He is actually seriously asking, please give me advice. And this is very important. It's extremely important that you give me because you are the right person. Dhritarashtra has somehow identified that, okay, I should take advice from Vidura. So there are three types of Vidura, not three types of Vidura, three types of advisors. One is Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha means, they consider every detail and the consequences based on the scriptures. He's a Uttama Purusha. Before giving advice, he simply doesn't give advice. Uttama Purushas are those people who consult the scriptures. They look at the consequences and then they advise the kings properly. That's so important. Today, unfortunately, we don't have such ministers who can guide the rulers, right? And that's why all these wars and other things are happening because we look at the consequences. So many people are dying. And people who are just genuine, just simple people who don't have anything to do with greed or anything like that, they are getting killed in the wars. Why? Because there are no proper advisors also. Our proper advisors are those who actually consult the scriptures and they give the right, proper understanding and advice to the kings. So that is a Uttama Purusha. Then there is Madhyama Purusha. He's an independent thinker, but they are very selective and they take only what is feels good for them from the scriptures or from anywhere else. But they are independent thinking. They just don't want to be under the jurisdiction of everyone or anything. So they just want to be very selective about what they speak. So selective advising. So those are Madhyama Purusha. And there are Adhama. Adhama advisors Adhama means low. These are the people who don't take advice, first of all. They don't take advice from anyone. Madhyama, sometimes they may take advice from someone and then they give their opinions and advice to others. But here these Adhamas, they don't take advice and they take random decisions without considering the pros and cons. No consequences, nothing. Just random haphazard thinking. So these are the people, Madhyama, Uttama, and Adhama advisors, different types. Now, these are three types of advisors. Now, there are three types of advice also. Now, it is called Uttama Mantaranga. Uttama Mantaranga means, the ultimate, the best advice that you can ever get. Very rare to get advice, a proper advice in life. Not so easy. Why people go to life coaches? Why people go to some mentors and all these things? Because they want an expert guidance, right? So we should have a Uttama Mantaranga where you get an advice, a proper ultimate advice. And this ultimate advice doesn't come from a single person. It's a collective advice that comes from great thinkers. So that's why earlier kings used to have a lot of ministers, because now also we have ministers, but then ministers are not trained up. But if you actually have proper ministers, and then there is a collective consensus among all these great thinkers, and that advice when it comes, then the king will really be benefited, and also the praja will be benefited. So that is how the ruling used to happen. Proper, uttama, high-class advices used to come. That's how decisions used to be taken earlier. Then there is Madhyama Mantaranga. Madhyama Mantaranga means it comes after a lot of debate. It's not that all great thinkers, they think in alignment, and it comes like, it's not like Uttama Mantaranga. It's a Madhyama, there's a debate. There is, no, I am right, this is good, that is bad. A lot of debates happen. And then after the debate, there will be some conclusion. That conclusion is just to keep the atmosphere cool and calm in a harmonious way, because nobody should feel hurt. That's why they come to a certain decision, and it is not for the benefit of the praja, not for the ultimate good, but for the ultimate good of that environment right now, because everybody is having their ego clashes. To pacify, to cool down, they come to a certain consensus. That is not that way great advice. It's a medium advice, And Adhama Mantaranga. Adhama Mantaranga means all advisors are divergent. Everybody is thinking in a different way. Nobody is thinking of what is the ultimate good. So, and anything that comes out of such divergent groups, right? Such advice should be avoided, should not be taken. Unfortunately, in today's world, many such Adhama Mantaranga advisors have come up, and they are giving advices, and then there is a chaotic situation in the society. But look at Vidhura. Now, Vidhura is a topmost advisor, not an ordinary advisor, topmost advisor. But unfortunately, the person who is receiving this advice, he's not topmost. That's an unfortunate thing. So, advisor may be a great person, but the person who is receiving the advice also should be a nice person of equal caliber. Then it is nice, then it works. But Vidura was giving advice to Dhritarashtra, who was blind. He was blind even spiritually, morally. So that's why he could not really appreciate the advice of Vidura. And here, like I told you earlier, he did not mince any word. He just spoke the truth about Duryodhana. And even Dhritarashtra could not take it actually, because he was so attached to his son, right? He could not take it. So, and then what happened? Let us understand. See, Vidura had his own journey before he became a Mahatma. Okay, a great person simply doesn't become a great person automatically. It happens through a lot of rigorous, tapasya, and he had studied scriptures. He has gone through a lot of his own tribulations in life, and that's how he becomes a great person. Actually, Vidura is a person who walked the path of Dharma. And that's why I'm telling you, he is the one who created Viduraniti, and Viduraniti was so inspiring that even Chanakya adopted that. Most of the Chanakya Niti is also adopted from Viduraniti, actually, because he's a great personality. So Vidura's journey in Hastinapura was not so easy. See, he was Sattvic. He respected the Lord. He was a great devotee of the Lord, right? Even when in a wrong atmosphere. He was not in a correct atmosphere. He was in a very negative atmosphere in Hastinapura. In spite of all that, he still had faith in Krishna and he was a devoted person. And he spoke courageously. And he gave advice when asked for. See, many times we jump on to give advices to people. Many times we just want to speak even when we are not asked for. We shouldn't do that. Many times in the meeting, many times in our discussions, when somebody is speaking, when two people or three people are talking about it, when we are not asked for a certain advice, we should not speak. We should restrain ourselves. It's better. And Vidhura was all the time was quiet. Actually, he did not speak because Shakuni is there. Okay, let them. He was quiet. What's the point? Because anyway, he's not asked for. But now, when Dhritarashtra asked him for advice, he is not mincing words. He's just speaking the truth as it is. Look at this. So we should also give advice to people when asked for. Simply, we should not. And then he is also identifying the root cause of all the problem. He has the ability to discriminate between what is right and wrong because he's born to a Sattvic mother and he himself is a Sattvic person. So he knows very clearly that this whole problem is because of the envy in Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. He knows it and he's speaking the truth. You both have to give up this, otherwise there will be a war. And when he's speaking like this and talking to them, Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, who had taken this drug of envy, envy is like a drug. You get intoxicated, right? So when envy is there, you start comparing yourself with others. You start comparing your success with others. And that's what Duryodhana was doing. Constantly, he was comparing his own success with the success of the Pandavas. Constantly. And that was creating envy. Oh, these people have Hastinapur, not Hastinapur, Indraprastha. I should have it. Envy. Oh, they have Draupadi, I should have her. All envy. Duryodhana was an envious person. And the same thing happened between Vasishta and Vishwamitra also. Right? Both of them are envious of each other. Of course, later on, they all settled down and they became great rishis, Vishwamitra and Vasishta was anyway a great rishi, Brahma rishi. And then Vishwamitra also said, oh, I also want to become a Brahma rishi. And he became Brahma rishi later on and gave us the Gayatri Mantra. Right? So, any envy that we show to anybody, it's actually envy towards Krishna because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So, in our day-to-day dealings also, we should not be envious of our neighbors. We should not be envious of another devotee. Envy is not a right thing. Krishna says in the 12th chapter, right, of the Bhagavad Gita, Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. He himself is non-envious. And I like people who are actually non-envious. Krishna reveals this knowledge also to a non-envious person. Because envy towards anybody is envy towards Krishna. Because they are part and parcel of Krishna. So we should know this. So Vidhura here is a non-envious person, but he's identifying the envy in Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And great souls like Vidhura, they don't have envy. Because with envy, we cannot progress in life. You'll always be comparing with others, and that comparison will never end. You cannot match what others are, and you, in the process of comparing, will lose your own potential. Because you are not focused on your own potential. And you do injustice to your own potential, all the talents that you have got in life. Right? So that is why envy is not the right thing to do. We should give it up. And when he hears all these tough words of Vidhura, all these strong words of Vidhura, Duryodhana could not take it. He said he was so angry. Duryodhana was so instigated now. He said, how dare this Vidhura? He is standing before me and in front of Shakuni, in front of Karna, he's speaking harsh words, calling him a Dasiputra. He calls Vidura, you are a Dasiputra. You are actually not worthy of becoming a minister in my court. You are nowhere to be considered in this Hastinapura. You are to be abandoned And he's telling his soldiers and everybody, just catch hold of this person and throw him out of this Hastinapura. These harsh words were spoken in the court in front of Shakuni and Karna. You can imagine the situation of Vidura. Vidura really felt very bad about it. In his own home, Dhritarashtra is who? His own brother, right? In a way, he's a brother because they have a common father. All are sons of Ved Vyasa, common father. And here, Dhritarashtra is quiet. His own nephew is, criticizing him, speaking him so harshly. So definitely Vidura had a lot of pain in his heart when he hears all these things, all these insults. He experiences pain in the heart, and anybody will feel that. But then he kept his bow and arrow and everything. He said, okay, I have understood that the situation here is very grievous. It has overtaken, adharma has overtaken, and this is beyond my circle of influence now. And I don't have any control over the situation. It is just the will of providence that these things are happening. I have been insulted also because of the will of providence, and let me not react to the situation. He accepted that harsh situation which was coming, and he said, okay, let me step out. And he voluntarily stepped out, and he voluntarily stepped out without saying a word or being affected. Although, in the sense, when I say being affected, it's not that he was not having pain in the heart by what Duryodhana said, but he was not affected in the sense because he took it philosophically. He understood that there is a reason behind all that is happening to me as well as that is happening in Hastinapura. It's better that I step out of. So he stepped out, right? So many times when we face shame, right, we feel guilty that we have done something wrong. Vidura had done nothing wrong. Still, he was facing all this nonsense, insults and other things. And he was not affected because he knew that what I am doing is dharma. And when you are situated strongly in dharma, you will not feel guilty. You may be criticized. Many great people, Prabhupada was criticized by his own god brothers, by his own family members in many ways, right? But still, when you are actually very grounded in the path of dharma, nothing will actually bother you. No insults will bother you. Yudhishthira was feeling guilty. Sometimes it happens. Guilty after the war. That, oh, what did I do? So many people got killed because of me, because of me. He was blaming himself. All of these people died because of me. Krishna tells, no, Papa, it's not because of you. Go. Let's go to Bhishma. And then Bhishma, he tells him a story. Hey, Yudhishthira, it is not because of you. Don't think it's because of you. It's just because of, it was destined to be. He tells him the story of two birds. These two birds were discussing, both of them. Oh, I'll have this grain, I will have that grain. What happened was there was a hunter who laid a net and threw some grains there. And both decided. One of the bird went and told, see, there are nice grains there, we should go and have them. And the other bird also said, yes, you're right. Let's go and eat. So both of them, they went. And they started eating this bird. Then what happened? Because they were eating, the net was there, they got caught. And when they got caught there, both these birds started fighting. This other bird was saying, you called me. If you would not have, I wouldn't have been caught up here in this net. The other bird said, I just told you that there are grains. You could have avoided. You took a choice. You did a choice and you took this decision to come along with me. You could have just flew away. I would have come here. Why did you come? And both of them started fighting. And when this fighting was happening between the two birds, when they were caught, the hunter is approaching them. And when the hunter is approaching, these both birds, they decided, see, now no point in arguing, the hunter is coming. Let's flap our wings together. And when they started flapping wings together, they, along with the net, they started flying. They flew away. And the hunter is coming, trying to catch them. and he's running behind these birds. They are flying. And as this hunter is flying, this hunter, he bumped into a sage. And the sage is asking, hey, what happened? Why are you running like this behind the birds? He says, no, they're caught in the net. And I want to get them. And the sage is saying, see, you're wasting your time. Those birds are strong and powerful. They'll find a way. You cannot catch them. But then this hunter says, no, 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 I will catch them. Because just before they flew, I heard both of them were fighting. And I know now they are although flying high and I'm running behind them, they will again start fighting. And when they start fighting, they'll come down and I will catch them. The hunter had that much intelligence. And it actually happened. These birds, in the midway, they started saying, one of the birds started saying, see, if just, if I would have avoided your advice of eating there, the grains, I wouldn't have been caught up in this net. I would be so free. Unnecessarily, I'm carrying this heavy load now. And then the other bird also started arguing. You shouldn't have come only. It's your mistake. And this way, that way, when they started arguing, slowly they came down. And then hunter who was running behind them caught both of them. Bhishma is telling these stories to Yudhishthira, telling that when you brothers, I told the same story to Duryodhana also, he did not listen. Now I'm telling you, the point is, when two people fight, the third person takes advantage. So the things are, you may think that it's all because of you, but it is not because of you. Many other stories he tells. He tells many other stories to Yudhishthira to convince him that don't take the blame and don't feel guilty. Okay? So this is what's happening. And we also know the story of Sant Eknath. We are told that how this person was spitting on him again and again, and Eknath was going and taking dip in that pond again and again. On Ekadashi day, 108 times he took bath. He took a dip in the pond, in the holy pond. And Eknath was actually thanking him. Oh, thank you so much for spitting, because I went and took bath 108 times on this auspicious day of Ekadashi. And this person was spitting, he felt so bad, and he surrenders to Eknath and says, I'm so sorry. He begs forgiveness that what I did was wrong. So we take insults very seriously. We personalize them. But Vidhura here, he did not personalize. He was hurt, no doubt, he was hurt, but he did not personalize. He took it in a philosophical way and he left the place. Many times like this, situations will come. Although Vidhura apparently has not done anything wrong in his life, but still he's facing problems. He's facing a tough situation in his life. Just see, many times you have not done anything wrong, but then you will face problems in life. This happens. So there was this, you have heard about Vikram Betal, right? Vikram Betal. This used to be a very powerful story. I don't know if you have heard in the previous, at least when I was a kid, there used to be very nice TV serial that used to come about Vikram Betal. Have you heard anybody, Vikram Betal?
Yes, Prabhuji, we have seen it when we were in school.
Right? So nice stories used to come. It used to be
Yes,
very
they
fascinating.
really nice. Yeah.
This Betal, used to be on Vikramaditya, and he used to catch him. And unless he answers his questions, he will not let him go, and he will give him pain. He'll torture him. So that was how he is too, and he has to give right answer. If he doesn't give right answer, then he's in a problem. So that kind of a situation. So once this story, very beautiful story, where Betal, he told Vikramaditya, see, there was a Brahmin, his name was Krishnadatta, and this Krishnadatta had a son called Hari. So, Hari was a very great scholar, very nice learned scholar. His father also was a great scholar. So, his father, Krishnadatta, wanted Hari to get married. So he wanted him to get married, but then unfortunately what happened? He died very early. The father died. Now Hari took the responsibility of his father, the household things and everything, but he's not married so far. So then what happens that, once he's outside walking on a street, and then he meets Leelavati, and he fell in love with her, and both of them actually. So they both got married, Leelavati and this Hari, and it was accepted. Both the family, other family members, they all said, okay, it's great, fantastic, you both get married, and that's how the marriage was done. Now, when this marriage was done, once they went to take a dip in a holy river, Hari and Lilavati. And nice family, they were both very happy. But then what happened was, suddenly there was a huge current, and Lilavati, she was carried away by the current of water and in front of his own eyes. He saw his loved one, Lilavati, carried away, swept away by the waters, and he could not do anything. And after that, he was in a depression. Hari was completely depressed. He said, "What wrong thing has happened to me?" And he started neglecting his own body. He was having very little food, and all the beard and hair and everything started growing. And basically, he was least bothered. He was neglecting himself. He lost interest in everything. One day he went to his uncle's house, and that uncle also thought, oh, his situation is so bad, and he kind of gave him a little bit of, however he had to console, he consoled him, and then thought in that it's better that I nourish this fellow. He's become so weak. So the uncle says, you stay with me, and he started feeding him and everything nicely. So one day this uncle gave him a glass of milk. And this Hari, who was so depressed, he took this glass of milk, and he went to the courtyard. And there in the courtyard, in the open space, he kept the glass of milk, and he slept off. And when he slept off, he dozed. That's when snake comes, and the snake, it drops a few drops of poison in that milk. It drinks the milk and also slightly, and then it drops a few drops of poison in that milk. Now, Hari, when he wakes up, he sees the milk. Oh, it's milk, I didn't drink only. So he takes that poisoned milk now, and he drinks that milk. And when he drinks the milk, he realizes that there is poison in it. And he runs inside, trying to save himself. He runs inside, and his uncle is there. And then Hari says, why did you poison my milk? What have I done that you actually poisoned me and you want to kill me? And he dies. Hari says these were his last words to his uncle, and he dies, and his uncle is in a gosh, what is he saying? And when he was saying this, when Hari was saying this to his uncle, the uncle's wife, the aunt, she heard this, and somehow she could not take this. How can my husband kill this person by giving him poison? And she was so depressed now, she thought that this is a fact, this is a reality, and she went and jumped into the well. And she committed suicide by jumping into the well. Now this Betal is asking Vikramaditya, tell me who is responsible for death of this aunt, the uncle's wife, right? Who is the responsible person for her death? Now it's something very tricky, right? Vikram said it is definitely not Hari, because he himself was depressed. He was not knowing what is the state of mind, what was going on. He did not have any such intentions. So he was so lost that it is definitely not, it is his fault. It is not the uncle's fault, because uncle never even predicted something like this would happen. Because uncle just gave milk. So how can it be his fault? So uncle also is not the fault. Snake's nature is that it spreads poison everywhere. How can you consider that the snake is the cause of it? It is very natural for a snake. It goes anywhere, it will spread poison. So the snake cannot be responsible for this. Then what is responsible? Then Vikramaditya says that it is the destiny. It was the destiny of that lady. Right? So when we also come across some situations in life, when we don't know why it happens to us, right? We just don't know why it happens to us. We are in a problem, we don't have a solution, and we are facing this lot of internal pain, and you don't know why it is happening to you. And when this kind of situation happens, it's better that you take a philosophical approach, just like Vidura did. When, just like now, Vikramaditya also is taking another step. He's saying none of these things are causes, it's actually the destiny. When we talk about destiny, it's a philosophical thing. So similarly, in your life, sometimes when things happen, when something wrong is happening to you and you don't know why, take a philosophical approach. It's very important. Because if we don't take this philosophical approach, then we are doomed. You know the story of Chitraketu, which is going to come in Srimad Bhagavatam later on. Chitraketu was not having any sons. So many wives he had. Finally, by the blessing of a rishi, he got one son somehow. And then his name was Harshashoka. Harshashoka, because initially first 12 years he'll give you Harsha, lot of joy. And because of this very same son who gives you so much of joy, will also give you a lot of sorrow. Shoka, Harsha Shoka. A very beautiful story that we will discuss when it comes there. Okay? So, destiny is like that. Many times we don't know why things are going wrong because of me. And when you take a philosophical approach and you convince yourself, you pacify yourself, that is the thing that differentiates you from normal being. A Mahatma is differentiated from normal people because a Mahatma takes a philosophical approach. And that's what we are supposed to do. With faith, you all should take a philosophical approach. Now, because of this philosophical approach, Vidura, his name is just not in the pages of Mahabharata. He has also come in the pages of Bhagavatam because of this philosophical approach. Just look at this. He is now moving from the pages of the Mahabharata to the pages of Bhagavatam because of this philosophical approach. And for us, life is Mahabharata. We're all having to go through so many tribulations in life. Life is like that. It's like a Mahabharata. So if you really want to get out of this battle, then you need to have a journey which is like Vidura's journey, a journey that will take you into the pages of Bhagavatam. If not the pages of Bhagavatam, at least the path that Bhagavatam has laid, we can start having our journey on the path given to us by the Bhagavatam. So that is why it is so important that we discuss all these beautiful things, all these amazing things, because by looking at these examples like Vidura, we will also be inspired that there will be criticism with no fault of yours, but still I will take a decision that is more beneficial, that pushes us even more spiritually higher to higher consciousness. So this is how Vidura takes a journey outside of Hastinapura. Hastinapur, he said, enough is enough. I don't want to be here in a place of adharma. Now I want to lead my life on the path of dharma. And then he walks out. And then he goes and meets Maitreya Rishi. Now what happens when he meets Maitreya Rishi? The dialogue between Vidura and Maitreya is amazing. There is so much to learn from these dialogues. So that is how. We will discuss all of that in the next session. Any questions, any doubt, anything that you want to ask, anything that you want to share?
No, Prabhuji, just one request. Next time, if you get the time, can you please
Yeah,
explain the concept of Lord Krishna being the ultimate enjoyer
ultimate enjoy. Yeah,
or
definitely.
doer, the we say, no? So I
Yeah.
wanted to understand that.
Yes,
Next
definitely.
time, just, yeah, thank you. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
definitely. We will do that. We will have this discussion about why Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, why Krishna is the ultimate doer. Hmm? Although Krishna says that Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, and there is no work for him, but still how that he is doing everything. So we will understand this definitely. So great, amazing. Thank you so much for joining today, and we will continue from where we have stopped. So it's a beautiful journey that Vidura has taken. He's now stepping outside of Hastinapura, and now he's going to meet different people in different holy places, and finally meets Maitreya. And we'll understand how Maitreya Rishi guides him later on. Okay, good, fantastic. So please take care, and we will meet again next Sunday. There are some plans that I'm making so that we can also meet a little more often during weekdays. We can have some reading sessions. I'm thinking we should start reading Prabhupada Leelamrita. That will be really very nice. So once in a week, we can read Leelamrita of Prabhupada, maybe Wednesday evening or something like that. Then it will be really nice for all of us. So let's plan that. Some proper time so that we can, both of us together, all of us together can participate in reading the Leelamrita of Prabhupada. Please take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.